Salutations. I was thinking about the fate of the old continent. It seems across the ocean in the New World, they are already taking measures to change things, to distance themselves from the annihilation cults. And but the old continent, not so much. Tyranny is still very strong. If any change comes at all, it's going to be from the higher hierarchies, from the elites. For what's above affects what's below. It is the higher hierarchies, the elites, the people in charge that are capable of bringing some change. You could say, but the individual also has power. Yes, the individual has power, and you manifest that power through your choices, but it's not enough, you see, because the best part of humanity are, working under consensus. The best part of humanity, the majority, you see, they do what they are told. They don't think for themselves, so they are waiting for the elites to tell them what to do. Whatever will be projected into the medias will become their realities, because they don't really have a critical, capability of analyzing reality. They are waiting for someone to tell them how things are going to be. So if there's a change, it comes from the higher hierarchy. So at the moment, the elites are completely out of their minds. That's why we're going through all of this tyranny. But there are other elites that are reacting. And I will just, give an example. For instance, the Muskie guy, he was, you know, all about the environment, EVs and space, and you know, he was on the left. And one day he had a awakening moment when one of his, kids decided that he wanted to um, try and change gender or something like that, which is impossible. But so that was, an awakening moment for him. That's when he started changing his attitude and decided to buy Twitter, which was a big, mouthpiece for the elites. You see, back then, he bought it and returned the voice to the public. So returned free speech, right, to the public. That was a key moment. Yes, like him, many others, decided to turn around and see, no, this is madness. You see, evil feeds off the good. The good is self-sustained. Unconditional love comes from the unconscious. It comes from non-being, and it is self-sustained. Evil feeds off of it. Evil actually requires this constant feeding. It requires someone to constantly be feeding it like a fire, constantly putting in fire, logs. If it stops putting logs, the fire just goes away. That's how evil works. You see, in the analogy of Frodo Baggins, he was carrying evil in his pocket up the mountain. At the last minute, similar to what the elf said, the quest seems to be hanging at the tip of a knife. It can go one way or the other. And Frodo, when he arrived at the tip of the mountain, he became possessed by evil. He started worshipping the ring and said to himself, why shouldn't I keep it? And then evil, the other guy from, what's his name? Gollum, who was also possessed by evil, in an act of rage, which is one of the characteristics, attributes of evil, attacked Frodo, and they have a fight, and they both fall into the abyss. Frodo was helped by Sam and survived, while the other fell into the abyss and was destroyed. You see, evil destroys itself. That's the point of the story. Evil will succeed eventually, but it destroys itself right after. It is a battlefield, this existence. In the spirit and in the physical world, we are in a battlefield. Pacifists don't like this idea. While they are living the best time of their life, there's someone covering, there's someone protecting them, you see. The best way to, prepare for peace is to prepare for war, something like that. A stable nation has a huge army. Yeah. If you don't have army, you will get overrun by, you know, inconvenient or others who have this um conquista, have this conquista idea. For instance, many countries in the old continent, they don't have an army. Therefore, they are very easily being what? Overrun by people. So it's just an example. So peace is something, you know, that has to be earned, so to speak. Um, the best way to prepare for peace is to arm yourself. Yeah. I mean, I would love to carry pepper spray or something, or a taser. I mean, come on. There's a lot of crazy people out there. So, if any change comes, it is from the upper classes. They will, you know, mobilize their friends because, you kind of have to know the right people, have the right connections, press the right buttons to make a change, a global change, right? We, the lower castes, the lower classes, I mean, yeah, we can vote. We can vote with our money. We can vote with those things. We bring an impact, yes, but it's not because the majority, majority is not, the truth is not popular, and the truth is not with the majority. You see, they are waiting for the elites to tell them what to do. When I was reading this book about feminism, and feminism was pushed by the elites as well because they were lonely, and they wanted company. Misery loves company. These rich ladies, they were, miserable. Some of them was millionaires because they divorced, or, they inherit lots of money, and then they started investing their wealth in this thing called feminism because they wanted company. Um, the majority of women actually voted no. They didn't want suffrage. They knew it was going to divide the family. Yeah, it was going to turn women against men and vice versa. And the world of politics is quite, horrible, and it wasn't a very good environment for women. And they had the best arguments and the numbers, but still they lost. They lost because it was an elite thing. The elites wanted this thing to pass, and they passed it. They themselves said if women have the choice, they will choose to remain as a housewife. So we have to force them out. And they did. They forced them out. Now we are stuck in a system that requires two salaries because of the elites. You see, the usual suspects. So the same situation applies to now. If you want to get out of this um, nihilistic annihilation cult, that's what it is. Well, if we, it has to be a change that comes from the elites. Um, So I kind of sympathize with those who have a Christian, background. At least they are more consistent, I would say. But then again, there's levels. There's levels of consistency. Yeah, the ones who have a higher IQ, I would say, Christians, they, you know, who based everything in principles, in first principles. Yeah, I sympathize with them, and they understand what's at stake. Um, so imagine a pyramid. At the top, at the tip, is 200 IQ. At the bottom is, I don't know, 60 or 80 IQ or something like that. I think it's 60 IQ at the bottom. Most people are in the middle, you see. And the bottom, I mean, it's pretty much self explanatory. The ones in the middle are the ones who actually pose more problems, the ones who have between 100 and 130 IQ. These are the types who went to the university and they think they know the answers to everything, and they don't bother asking questions about the things they think they already know. For them, it's settled. Everything is settled. These are the idiots that are good at following orders, you see. And it is they who pose more problem. So anyway, I used IQ, because everybody understands the analogy. In reality, is at the top is wisdom, at the middle is intelligence, and at the bottom is ignorance. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe it's stupidity at the bottom and ignorance in the middle. Yeah, wisdom, ignorance, and stupidity. Yeah, that would be up, middle, and bottom of the pyramid. So I think I'm gonna shut up. Tell me what you guys think. Have a nice day.